Hey everyone, welcome to Daily Revelations. We are bombarded on a regular basis by deception, by lies, by accusations. What do we do with those? Do we believe them? Do we take them in? Do we make them part of our life? Or do we handle them through the lens of truth? And that's really what I want to share with you today. So I was reading through a variety of different scriptures today, but the one that really popped out to me was in Zechariah 3. And it talks about this priest who was dressed in basically rags. And Satan's standing next to him saying, "Look at you, you're no good. This is what you look like, and this is what everybody sees you as." And then God comes along and says, "Don't believe him. Rerobe this man, because that is not how I see him. I see him as someone useful, someone worthy, and someone who I can use in truth." We live through this every day. I just was on the phone with two different friends yesterday who had Satan breathing down their throat, accusing them of things that weren't true. I mean, yes, in the world, there was stuff going on. But through the lens of how God saw their circumstances, what they knew they were struggling with was not truth. It was something that they knew was lies that was being put into their thinking to sidetrack them from where they should have been going. And so as we talked and then we prayed, that was the thing that we prayed for, was just that truth would overcome those situations, and that Satan would not get the upper hand on what was going on in their lives. And too often we allow those accusations that come in to say, this is what's true about you. And that's not what God says is true. So God even tells us that our feelings aren't true. Only what is in his word is truth. And Satan is the great accuser. Isaiah 54 says this: "Fear not." Fear is the beginning of believing lies, because we give in to those things that are coming in and say, yeah, it is true. And what God says just can't be real, because there's no way he could love me as much as he says he loves me. And we fear that we just can't be lovable, and that God just can't accept us, or the circumstance that we just went through, that he could move past that. But what he says is, no matter what, my loving kindness will not be removed. That is what we have to hinge on, what we have to believe in, and not give in to the lie and the fear that comes with it, and allow that to take us away. And even if it seems so real, and this morning that was my big struggle, and this is why my video is a little late, because I've been dealing with some major pain this morning. And I felt, as I was going through this, Satan just accusing me and saying, "See, you know what? You don't have to do this today. You just have to deal with, your pain. And forget about the video, forget about all of this." But as I pressed into praying to God, what he kept telling me over and over again is, yes, you may have pain, but I can overcome that pain. Just trust in me, lean on me, and don't believe that what I'm calling you to do you can't do because of what you feel. Because I will equip you. I will give you what you need. And right now, my pain is pretty tolerable. I've got hip issues, and it's probably self-induced. So I'm not going to go into saying I'm just getting old. But anyways, there's a lot of different things that can come into our lives that can just halt us and say, you know what? Where you're going, what your day has to, what you have to do, what God has called you to do, you just can't do. because of this or this or this. Maybe just everything is falling apart. But what do we choose to do? Do we choose to believe everything's falling apart, my life is falling apart, I'm falling apart? Yes, my body's falling apart. Or God can work even amidst all of this falling apart. Yes, because, and here's the thing that we have to hinge on as we go into what is real, what is true, is that in Zechariah 13, as we get towards the end of Zechariah, he talks about how in that day, and I've been coming to these scriptures so much about the end, in that day, what is going to happen? There'll be destruction of sin, impurity, false prophets, lies, and deception. Those things will go away. If we chose to cling to them, that was what we believed, in that day, all those things fall away. And we have nothing left to cling to because we didn't trust in what was true, that we knew. Yes, we may not have been able to see, but in faith, we knew we could reach out and cling to those things. And that's what we have to do. Because in that day, I want to say, I clung to my faith and I held on tight, even though I didn't feel it, I didn't see it, but I knew that God was faithful and that he was not going to have his love removed from me, that what he said was true. So hold on. Don't believe those lies. Keep pressing on. And if you have to, and that's what I was doing this morning, God, please just get me one step closer to where I need to go. And I think I'm going to be doing that a lot today, just to get through this pain. But whatever you're struggling with, God is there. He has truth to speak into that situation. Cling to that. Don't cling to what Satan is telling you, the lies and deception of this world, that you can't, that you shouldn't, or that you just aren't good enough, because you are. So have an awesome day, and I'll see you again next time, everyone. Bye.